The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD BLACK NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and our admin, Eisen, as we are here for day 2 of Division 3 in Season 3 of this Pro League. Very late beginnings, we are aware, and we do apologize for being a little late in bringing this stream to all of our viewers' screens, but the update dropped, and unfortunately, we had to adjust for Year 5 Season 4.1, which brings with it a slightly interesting change, adding a pause to the round timer, a pause button to the round timer in online custom games, something that we've all been asking for quite a while now. It's in the game, and we may or may not have a chance to see it tonight. Of course, we still hope that we don't have to pause the action at all, but even if we do, we might get to see that in action. Speaking of which, we're going to join all of our players from Jiravuya and Throw Syndicate on the map of Consulate in the ban phase right now. And just as I was about to say that, our admin confirmed that we do in fact have a pause timer button where it usually is for LAN setting matches as well. So let's join our players in the match in the ban phase right now, with the first ban coming out from Throw Syndicate, the Thatcher ban, to start us off on Consulate.
Well, first things first, Consulate, a beautiful map we're getting to see once again. Thank you, Division 3, for throwing in that diversity of the map range that you happen to bring in. Definitely happens to hype us up for the moments. Coming back to this colorful map, and a very, very peculiar ban. We've got the Witcher taken off the board. I think that's got to be a very targeted ban coming towards Throw Syndicate. We know for a fact Throw Syndicate has got a huge emphasis in terms of how they like to take gunfights. We saw that yesterday on Coastline. That was one hell of a match to witness. We got to see some amazing stuff of Cheesy and Chimkins, but that is just the end of ban phase. The Navy SEAL is taken care of, and Thatcher, I think at this point, he's just a standard ban. Added to that, the unusual but a very targeted ban towards Throw Syndicate. That'll be the Vigil taken off the board. But speaking of which, the rosters that is in the lobby right now: Taurus, Shockin, God, Adi, and Ghost from the side of Jetter Vyuha, while we have Killsteel, Abid, Easy, Cheesy Chimkin, Heko from the side of Throw Syndicate. Quite the roster both of these teams happen to rock, and in fact, quite literally rock. We've seen them come out with, I'd say, very solo influencing plays. They just happen to come out with so much more destructive energy for themselves, and it just happens to add to that cohesion between their teammates, and just make sure that their team works in tandem, make sure they get their push done, or the whole, it matters on what side they happen to be. And I just happened to notice Shocking and God, both of them bringing out the breach charges, the Zofia and the Ash. That means the emphasis on the soft breach is definitely going to be huge. The first side is not going to be in the top row. We'll be seeing them start off on the side of the church, the garage, and security room. But see, this is at this point a very
that's multiple days of
exactly. It's habitual at this point. So I'm habituated to say whenever we happen to go to basement, it's church and arsenal, but no, this time around it's going to be garage and kitchen. And hey, definitely a good side you can start off on. Let's see what they happen to offer. Round one will be underway.
Absolutely. The first round coming out on basement from the side of Throw Syndicate. On the defense, no Vigil this time around, but I believe the alibi from Killsteal might be able to compensate for that in a slightly different way. Both Vigil and alibi work to sort of feed misinformation to the side of the attack, and alibi works doubly well in that regard because she can bamboozle the attackers and give away their position, if temporarily, by virtue of her Prisma hologram. So, all in all, a pretty good pick from Killsteal with a pretty powerful gun, but the most important operator in this entire hold for the time being is most likely going to be Easy, who was in Piano Room on first floor. Not the usual position for the mute, mind you. Usually you see a mute shotgun in hand sitting inside of the bathroom, but Easy is going to be playing a little bit more wide, a little bit more all over that particular region to see if he can deny the attackers for as much and as long as he can. Spotted by a drone, he's got to take that out. There we go. And he will fall back quickly just to save his skin and make sure he doesn't get taken out quickly. Taurus, with the Jackal scan, comes out, knows where the mute is, but they have to emphasize on his position soon. But then you have Shotgun, who's currently in a gunfight with somebody down on Spiral Stairs. Couldn't exactly get the kill as the defenders have fallen back to fairly default positions, nothing too special. Killsteal in the middle. He wants this kill. Knows that the Ash was there a second ago, but has since moved away. Easy in the meanwhile. He's being emphasized on. As we can see, the Jackal, along with the Zofia, seems to have pushed in towards that position. Drones are coming out as powerful, take some damage, but he will actually manage to push in and take a kill. The Maestro from below, was trying to find him. Could not from the vertical angle. As, he will go down instead, as it will be Ghost to take out another one. Two very important kills, making it a 5v3 as Throw Syndicate, unfortunately, trying to play a little aggressive, couldn't find those heads, are suddenly in the disadvantage.
We still got some commotion happening on the side of Spiral Stairs, and that is, of course, one of the defenders, Kaitri, coming in a little too late maybe. Echo has gone for a good attempt, but I think the Selma Beats is already going up. There you go. The C4 comes out, but does not find anything on anybody for that matter. We're seeing another fight being picked up, and Shockin will be the one to win that. Killsteal takes the fall, and Echo goes down as well. It's a quick kill frenzy for the side of the attackers right now. It's all down to Cheesy Chimkin. In a aceless situation, he'll find one kill. That's going to be shocking, but he's got to make his way back, and the plan is already being stuck. And this is in a very viable situation or position for the attackers to just take advantage of. An attempt to go for the Batman knife, it won't happen. As Adi is going to shut him down. That's the Nomad. Just he knows exactly what's up. There you go. He's taking his own time. I don't think he even had to get that knife kill. It was just a drop down before we happened to hit the ground. But yeah, then again, it was a good finish up coming in from the side of attackers once again, slowly taking their own time, and more importantly, they look very poised and very approachable as to how you want to see a garage push happen from the side of the attack. Not too much emphasis wasted into trying to get the main breach done first and foremost. They were very emphasized into getting the roam clear done, and more importantly, getting that soft breach potential for themselves. Those floorboards, that was their move, and they played that really well. That out of the way. It will be Throw Syndicate's turn to just answer back. And well, speaking of which, we'll be seeing them head to archives and tell us, in fact, of all.
This is interesting.
Just like that is definitely interesting. We see so many teams just head back to something more comfortable. No, Throw Syndicate wants to bring in that little spice in the mix, and more importantly, they might just be stumbling a little too close to defining their own name if they do not tread in territories that are not accounted for. Because right now, just the way it looks like, Throw Syndicate needs something to back them up. You don't want Jet Review or your opponents, for that matter, to take away an early advantage. Consulate does happen to be an attacker favored map. At least that's what I believe. So, get debate on that some other day. But yeah, round 2 is underway. We've already got the prep phase up and running. Let's see what they happen to offer.
With Throw Syndicate going to Tellers and Archives, something tells me that this is them trying more so to throw off Jitterbuya's attack rather than actually some sort of strategy that they have in mind. The setup we're seeing here isn't exactly too new. You've got the castle, you've got the pulse, the Mira, all the operators you require for this particular region, and you've got plenty of vertical angles to play around with as it should be. with this site. Archives has a large soft ceiling, and so does Teller. So you want to emphasize vertically rather than horizontally. And whoever will be roaming on second floor will do most of the horizontal pressure. Defenders inside a site can just sort of lurk around, especially the Pulse, to see if he can spot attackers and get a couple of kills early. Right now, of course, Jiravuya, they've read into this for the most part. Again, it's nothing that we haven't seen before. And for a team like Jiravuya, who look like they know how to go about a map like Consulate, despite it not being picked often, it sort of leads me to believe that this map could potentially have been their pick had it, if it came down to this, they sort of know their way around this map pretty well, but here we go a bit. He's seen somebody just above them through the floorboards. That's a sledge, mind you. The hatch is going to be broken, but he'll fall back. Taurus has got to be very careful right now. He cannot afford to sit too still, and Ubit cannot afford to take too long, but it doesn't matter. Hecko will take him down. The information comes in, but the attackers are already inside of Tellers. There's two of them with a Nomad and his Zofia. God will take down Hecko, and the plant has already gone off. There we go. Jittervuya, like I said, reading perfectly into what Throw Syndicate were attempting to do, and it's going to be a site retake situation. The Mira's going to go in early, kill steal. He's going to try and see if he can get the counter defuse off. It's in a good corner, mind you, as there's reinforcements, but it doesn't matter. Addy gets one, but the attackers don't know the counter defuse is going in, but it's going to be denied just in time, as so many bodies are going to drop, and Jittervuya will walk away with the round win because they managed to scramble back to the diffuser in time. That could have gone very poorly, very quickly for them in that situation. But they managed to recover from the stumble of nearly having their diffuser plant counter-diffused in a very ninja-esque fashion. But of course, that's not going to be the case. JV will be the ones leading 2-0, and the surprise strat from Throw Syndicate unfortunately has failed.
No, it clearly did Throw Syndicate, trying to throw them off that little orthodox approach to how we happen to see Consulate come off. But it's been a while. I think we've seen play on this map, and maybe that approach has changed as well. Archives and Tellers, not the best side you want to go for. We'll be seeing the Consulate meeting room come out. Eventually, that's going to be the second floor up top, and this does happen to be a very viable site. We see most of the teams happen to go for this first and foremost. So many areas you just happen to come and cover through, but hey, it's just a back and forth. We've seen Consulate quite a bit. We know exactly what comes down to this. Surely now that yellow stairs hold is going to be a whole lot more difficult with the Jaeger nerf coming in. It'll be interesting how they happen to counter that, though. The phase coming in, we've still got the Melusi being employed. The Vamai pick as well. I can only understand why you want to bring out the Vamai with Adi emphasizing on that Nomad so much. We've seen him bring that Nomad out every single round so far. There's the third round in consecution, and so much more soft breach that we are getting to see from the side of the attackers. I can only understand why you want to make sure you get Vamai and Jaeger, both of them. You want that kind of stability for yourselves to try and fortify yourselves on side, have that kind of a stronghold on defense. We'll be seeing a possible admin push. That's exactly what I'm getting to see through the walls right now. There we go. The attackers just making their way through, and Adi knows exactly what's up. Trying to bait out one of the Vamai discs. Looks like there'll be none that'll be pre-placed. That's just a wasted opportunity, or is the Vamai just baiting it out? Not got any early peaks coming out, and that means there'll be no early losses for any of the teams so far. And I'm really liking that. No aggression from the side of the defense as well. That's exactly how you want to put it. You want to play this slow and steady, but so far, Throw Syndicate has not been able to crack that code. It's just come back to bite them. Jet Review are trying to push this further. Let's see what comes out of it.
Right now, Throw Syndicate, what they need to do is go back to the basics. And that is, of course, what they are doing. The Omai coming out, you've got the Jaeger, the Denal's in, you've got the Legion. Everything is looking like they're trying to go for the basics of Consulate. Hold it down, deny as much as you can, and wait for the attackers to come to you. They really need to try and do that rather than force the hand of the attackers, because it hasn't worked so far. Killsteal trying to be very aggressive very early, does a bit of damage, and he will actually find a down, and maybe him. There we go. Pokeball goes out, and God is off the table. That's a big drop with the Zofia going down. Killsteal still, a little bit questionable, going very aggressive very early. It did cost him a lot of HP, but he managed to take a kill, which is far more worth it than had he gone down without any show for. Good first kill is going to slow down Jitterbria quite a bit, who are otherwise pretty organized, but there we go. The refract comes in. Taurus on the connector window takes down kills to the Melusi, is off the board, but you still have 4 defenders remaining with 60 seconds remaining on the clock. Jitterbria are going to be strapped for time. Flashbangs are coming in to just flush out the defenders, but they aren't finding their mark. Not just yet. 45 seconds remain. And the attackers, they need to get in. They need to find these defenders if they can. They can't get the plant off. They can't get the win. But Abid going down, that's going to be a big drop as well. That's another 50-second session off the board. They have leeway to get in Heko. He's falling back towards side, but there's a barricade in front of him that's going to give his position away as Ghost is going for the plant, and he might just be able to pull this off. It's going to be a site retake situation as the plant does go off. A couple of bodies have dropped in Ghost. He tried to do it, but he was taken down. Heko has found one. That's Adi off the board, but Ghost knows his position, and there we go. The AK will come in, shut him down, and that will be the 1v2 denied as well. Jitterbria really doing some work right here as their attack strategies are paying off. They know that all they need to do is hold steady and get their kills in place. Well, this is certainly interesting. We, as these our spectators, seems to have been disconnected from the online game. Well, that's certainly not what we were thinking would happen. But given that Easy had the same issue earlier in the very first round itself, should have been a little telling that we might have to face something similar. But regardless, we are back with the match, so we'll be going back into the match as well, nice and quickly, and we will be continuing as the teams are a little confused, but also that confirmation has been brought in. So a little bit of a what just happened moment right there, and we're back with round 4, going back to basement garage.
Well, going back to basement garage, but before that, Jitterbria are just coming out with so much more than we expected. The attack from them has been it's just been amazing, and more importantly, it's happening to dismantle the entirety of Pro Syndicate. They are not able to get through them. That is, of course, the side of the defense. Once again, we'll be back to the first side they happen to attempt on, and we're not seeing any repetitions come out. Makes me believe that Pro Syndicate is staying very true to their name. Just from the way it looks like, we don't see any overcommitment. But no, I love that you're getting so many rotations in. Happens to throw off the attackers as well. There you go. Finally, the aggression comes out. Happens to make a little bit of a conversion as well. Adi is going to be the one to take so much more damage, but there's just no pushback. There'll be no damage done to Cheesy Chimkins though. That was a good trade. At least no damage taken, and you've done some. No lives taken though on the side of the attack with that spawn peak coming in from the Melusi. Could have been a better situation. Excuse me, then. Could have been a better situation for the side of the defense to start off on through Syndicate right now. So direly need that advantage that they're not able to find. We've still got to hit the 2-minute marker as you already see the attackers make their push on the top floor. There we go. The fuse pick somehow is definitely going to interest me a lot and interest Blackjack a whole lot more, as fuse does happen to be a pick when you come back to Consulate. You want to dislodge the members that are playing on site. You want to make sure you get the piano control and just fuse charge all the way on the side. That's the way you go about it. At least that's one of the ways you happen to go about it. But that's exactly what I'm seeing Jitterbria bring out, and that's I think the oldest trick in the book. We don't get to see that a lot though. It's not exactly a whole lot reliable, but it definitely gets the job done. You've got to have so much more from your teammates, that kind of reliability, and I think JV has got that. Shock in already watching his back. I don't think he's got the default cam. We just saw somebody else have a look at him or just move around the side of Spiral Stairs, and I think that information definitely is traded back and forth. Already the breaches are happening. The Maestro might get caught once again in that bad spot. He did get caught last time, but it is, of course, boiling down to the last 1 minute slowly as we happen to see it go through. They still got the top floor to fight against. Fuse is actually going to go ahead with his cluster charges. He's got no worries whatsoever because the bathroom is being watched by his teammates right now. And there you go, the charges doing their job. They're getting so much more utility burned out. And I think they've downed Adi as well. No, that was the C4 that Heko was able to get the kill onto Taurus and downed Adi in the process. It's very well played from Heko. Definitely a good Kai trick Kai trick you cannot make with that. But oh boy,
Oh,
this went unnoticed. Easy was able to pick up a kill here, and that was shocking to take the fall.
Well, that's a very unfortunate fall for Shock and quite. Nah, I'm not gonna make the pun. I was gonna do it, but I'm not gonna make the pun, ladies and gentlemen. Jiravuya just falling apart. Really, 2 bodies dropped in the meanwhile while we were discussing puns. As Ghost is the last man standing. 1v5 ace-load situation, 20 seconds remaining. He can only do so much in this situation. Easy in the meanwhile. He's been down. That's interesting. As the ace trying to go down on... oh, he actually was able to go onto site through the hatch on down desk. But Cheesy Chinkin was there to shut him down, and that will be a flawless round for Throw Syndicate, finally putting a round on board for themselves, and a much-needed one, seeing as they were 0-3 down up until this round. They still have a pretty substantial lead that they have to climb against Jiravuya, and that, of course, is going to be a daunting task, given that JV overall has been playing very, very well. This is interesting. Looks like we're going to archives and tellers once again from the side of Throw Syndicate. Okay, this sort of leads me to believe that they actually know something that they want to try and emphasize on this site. Maybe something that they've practiced, but at the same time, the last round, we saw this exact same operator lineup, bar the mute. We saw an alibi come out in that round. But even then, it didn't really work, and I'm not seeing how it's going to work any differently this time unless Jiravuya really makes some big mistakes. Now, another line of thought that it could be that Throw Syndicate thinks that, all right, they got the plant off in the corner last round. We nearly had the counter defuse, but our watch wasn't there, and the counter defuse got denied, and we got cleaned up too easily. So maybe they're thinking that, all right, we could, if they go for the plant and tellers, we could sort of do a side retake and sneak back in and get the counter defuse off. They've even got vertical lines of sight on that same place where the plant went off. Right at the corner, you see where the 2 reinforcements are. You see the verticality being established. So that's good adaptation, but at the same time, this site is, in no uncertain terms, not the best for the side of the defense. They really are going to have to work their backs off to win this one this time, and Jiravuya will not be taking that previous round loss lightly. Let me tell you that much, ladies and gentlemen. This round is going to be extra tough with this site selection from Throw Syndicate.
That's exactly what Jiravuya is looking for. We've got a 3-2-1 scoreline. That good answer back from Throw Syndicate was very necessary, and more importantly, that was a flawless one coming in from them from the garage side. I would say very opposite to what we saw them come out in the first round, but hey, that's exactly what this is about. They're finally standing up to answer back, and there you go, the pulse pick once again. It's providing so much more information. The Mute Jam is coming in a little late, and that allows so many drones to give away so much more information that they can use. The Sledge has made his way in awfully close to this Mira window. He might be using his nades. I'm sure there's got to be some kind of anti-projectiles over there. No, there are not, in fact, but that'll be anticipated, and there's no defenders to be found either. Just getting all the soft reach done onto the top floor, and that's exactly what JV is looking to get done right now. Meanwhile, the map control on the other side of the map, and that is from the side of the garage, will be happening from the rest of the members of the attacking team as well. This is a very good attack from the looks of it. Cheesy Chimkin has taken so much damage. This could be fatal. The man has got to play for the C4. He's got to play for the denial, and more importantly, give away so much more information. If he does get taken away, it's going to be a very blind situation for the defense to play on. And there you go, taking some damage. I'm not sure where that the damage came in from, and I don't think neither is the ace. That is Ghost. He's just going to have to fall back and re-engage on that fight some other day. We've got the smokes coming in. That's going to deny them line of sight, and there you go. Cinema breaches are coming out, but I don't think they're able to get the breaches done with the mute jammers being put into place. That's definitely helping them so much right now. You want to make sure all of them are right into position. Echo, meanwhile, with the flank, he's going to take care of God, but he's going to get found. Meanwhile, Easy on site is going to take care of another attacker, and that's going to be Taurus. They've still got a 3 versus 4. Cheesy Chimkins is very low on HP, but Easy will be the one to get found. Mute takes the fall, and this is Samak turned out to be a rather hasty retake. We've got to see from the side of the defense. 30 seconds, C4s are coming out, and there you go, the Vector comes out, but that's not the spell you were expecting. You've got the Ash on side, and that's the man killer. We've got Jet of You are once again so angry just rushing onto side, and Throw Syndicate not able to keep up to the heat that they brought on board. That was quite the round, people. We'll be taking a quick look at that at the instant replay and heading to round six, the last round, before roll swap 4 to 1, a very definitive advantage for JV to head upon.
Something that seems to be sort of the trend right now is hyper aggression. And given that we are, of course, in the South Asian region of South APAC, a very aggressive region in and of its own right, Operation Neon Dawn has sort of bolstered that feeling, that play style, just a little bit more. We're getting to see that from both JV and Throw Syndicate, more so from Jiravuya, really. They just take a little bit of time in the early round. They get their intel. They know what bare minimum they have to do in terms of utility clearance to get into sight. And once they do, that's pretty much lights out for Throw Syndicate. It's really just Jiravuya gets two people into sight. That's what we've seen so far. They get two people into sight, and then they completely shut down with the other three falling in suit. While Throw Syndicate, caught in a site retake situation, they tried for C4s like in the last round. They tried for a direct re-entry through their own rotates a couple of rounds ago. It still didn't work. That, unfortunately, has sort of been the trend tonight. Two times they've attempted basement archives and first floor tellers, and both times they have failed on virtue of letting Jiravuya in. They've unfortunately had too many holes in their defense, and they've gone for peaks, they've gone for plays that they shouldn't have given the situation. And overall, they're going to have to really work on these. Again, I'm saying this a lot. We said this a lot yesterday as well in Throw Syndicate's game. They need to work on their basics before they really go for the complicated stuff. They're making mistakes, they're slipping up, and they're not covering for those slip-ups in time to really matter. Right now we've got a drone spotting easy, and he will go down unaware of the position being given away. The Legion will fall. Some clever drone work and a good follow-up by Shotgun, as that will put Throw Syndicate at an early one-man disadvantage.
Magnets ready.
Well, definitely some good support coming in from the attackers right now, but Shotgun has taken some damage himself. That's not the best angle to contest that Legion probably, and there you go. Wow, actually that was a beautiful shot from Heko. I thought it was Taurus who's won that fight, just from the animation, just the way it happened to start out, but no, it was the Jaegers coming in with the pre-fire through that little slit that they had for that he had for himself, just through the yellow stairs up it. Meanwhile, he's just going to relocate his Goyo shield. He knows exactly where that push is coming in from. He wants to make sure he has a better advantage to this, and I don't really blame him. The East push, the admin push, in fact, from the attackers is on point, but we've still got some commotion on the other side of the map, and that's not going to be for long. All the attackers assembled and very ready to make this push. There you go. The Ash charge is blowing off in distance. God does take some damage from it, but that's not a whole lot. Definitely will not affect, at least not largely, when you happen to take that gunfight. You still got the Ash. Very, in fact, he's very headstrong about sticking with this angle. Loves to peek the hallway, and we'll still see him be very committed to this. So far, we've not gotten a whole lot of. There we go. The breaches have finally do happen to come out. Just about to talk about it. We've not got a whole lot of map control with the breaches into place as well, with the ace into place still. And the post plan, or rather the possible planned in that situations are coming in, positions are coming in from the side of the defense. It's all down to Cheesy Chimkins. It's the Mamayan side alone. He's just going to have to move back, and there you go. That's a wise decision coming in from him, just re-rotating, and I think that's a good frag. That's shocking to take the fall. Echo adds up to that. God will get taken down. Ghost, meanwhile, the refrag is right back in. Cheesy Chimkins is the one to take the fall. 3 versus 2. We've still got one diffuser denial possibility from downstairs. That's going to be a bid with the C4. That's the goal here. You can rely on, very trustworthy. Ghost and Adi know more than that. They know exactly what's up. They've got to attempt the plan after having to take the side control, and that means they've got to drop 2 bodies on site. 10 seconds left, the push is coming in. This looks highly unlikely for the attackers to push through. Ghost is sticking the plant right now. This denial might come in. There you go, the kill gets in. Echo was a denier, and that C4 did not even matter because the plant has been stopped. That's it, people. Throw Syndicate will be getting themselves this amazing round, playing off of a denial. Really well played. They had the information. I'm not sure what piece of information that they had it through, though. But hey, definitely an amazing round for them to start off on. That was round 6, people. Good first half, definitely for Jetavuya, but also, at least in some sorts, for Throw Syndicate. If you could take a look at the scoreboard right now as we happen to proceed to round 7, there we go. We've got Heck on 7 frags from the side of Throw Syndicate, while on the side of JV, we've got Shockin on 7 himself, followed up with Ghost. They've definitely been doing that heavy lifting for their team, and it just happens to add up to that scoreboard. Let's see what the second half of this match happens to throw us. The role swaps will be into place as well. Jet of you are going back onto defense, while Throw Syndicate, they'll be the ones to attack.
Similar to their opponents, Jiravuya will be the one starting off on basement, garage, and cafeteria right off the bat. Interestingly enough, looks like basement is going to be consolate's opener site today for both teams. And, we're of course not going to complain. We're just getting to see consulate, ladies and gentlemen. Both of us, everybody here, is just happy to have consulate back on stream, as I'm sure a lot of our viewers are as well. As just overall, we just hope to see the difference, these sorts of differences, a different maps being picked, and it's just something that's not Oregon or Clubhouse every now and again, just every now and again, just like this, different maps being picked and different maps being played. It allows us to see and really get into the minds of the teams as much as we can, sitting here in the caster seat, of course, and allows us to sort of see the strategies and see how much these teams can sort of recover from bad positions in other maps where there have to be different things to retake sites, say, or to go for the post-plant diffuser clutch, anything that just, lets us see something different. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to say. Anyway, enough about that. A little bit of a rant, and now rant over. We have Throw Syndicate on the attack, and on the attack, they've been known to be somewhat better than their defense in general. But again, that has been subject to change over the course of the many years, many months that we have seen this team be active. For formerly Gamer Syndicate, now Throw Syndicate, the names may change, but the players, they don't. And of course, in these situations, old habits sometimes die hard. More so true for Throw Syndicate. Yesterday, we saw them make quite a few of those old mistakes, taking too long or not taking enough time, trying to push things when they didn't need to, or not picking their gunfights wisely. This time, they've done some of those mistakes as well, but not as badly as yesterday, per se. Right now, we've got Shockin under a bit of inspection from the side of the attack. They're trying to find him, and the Jackal scans will come out, but the Ash is a little too late to find him. Will she find him on the second ping? Not quite. God will go down in the meanwhile. Killstick gets one. He gets two, as Taurus will be the one to fall. The Jackal, scanning a different operator than the one he took out just now, is going to put the side of the defense on a pretty big disadvantage. Those Syndicate are really going to have to owe it up to Killsteal later on, as that man has just proven to be very useful. Jaeger getting emphasized on quite a bit, and there we go. The down comes in, the kill as well. Easy will actually be the one to confirm that kill on the down Jaeger. Shockin is off the board, and now it's a 5v2.
Shockin finding himself in the very ugly position, having his teammate Rome was taken down very early, and there you go. Ghost is taking some damage as well. This has come down to a very classic Throw Syndicate attacking round. They've been stomping over Jet of UR right now. It's coming down to just these two defenders, Adi and Ghost, as we see the Jackal attempting to get try and help with the breach. He's just helping, and meanwhile the breaches will happen though, and that's going to be the floorboard. We've got 30 seconds left for the execute to go down. The C4 comes out. Will that connect? That's a real question right now. So far, nothing. Abid will take care of Ghost, and that's the man with the C4 in the hand. Adi with the order. He tries to get a frag. He's still got so much more coming at him. I don't think he'll be able to fight this, but no, it's just going to be hold fire order from the side of the attackers. Not until they find him. Adi will get taken down. The cheesy Chimkins will make sure he shuts him down, and that's the Nomad coming in and around from the bottom of the spiral stairs, just making sure she gets that frag. We'll be taking a quick look at that in the instant replay. We're headed to round 8, people, and once again, Throw Syndicate letting us know that they're more than just alive on this match. They're more than just having to kick back and try and keep this competition alive. Right now, they're looking for that equalizer. We might as well see that. Round 8 will be underway, and the side is going to be cafeteria and garage once again. Let's see who happens to take this match.
That was an interesting round coming out from Jiravuya. They seem to have been under the impression that the side of Throw Syndicate would be a little bit more reserved than they originally were, as those two early kills taken by Killsteal were really hurt them quite a bit in that situation. They weren't expecting them, and they couldn't recover, especially one Shotgun still roaming on second floor because he had no route of escape was taken care of. Another, slightly less stellar play from the side of Jitteri's team is that they left Shotgun up there with no route of escape. Of course, it was a little bit of a coincidence that he was caught inside of that little small printer room by vending machine, but even then, the fact that he was there with no route of escape, no possible route of escape, given the way the attackers pushed him, it's not exactly the best position to find yourself in. He'll have to, roam a little bit more effectively, a little bit more widely, take more positions, try to be a little bit more wide about his peaks, a little bit more aggressive, because he was playing too reserved while the side of Throw Syndicate were not. It was a bit of a mismatch that JV could not walk themselves out of. Now, coming into this round, we've got Shotgun once again going on the roam. He's actually broken open a window right now. That's obviously going to be hurt, but will that kill be taken right now? Not quite yet, as we're just waiting to see who goes down first. It's really a game to see who is going to be the one to fall first. Is it going to be Killsteal easy? Is it going to be Taurus or Shotgun? Really, it's down to those four. They've gone down early in quite a few situations for their teams. But the drones are going to come out, Throw Syndicate. They know what they need to do. Just drone themselves out. Ghost. Unfortunately for him, those traffic cones are indestructible for whatever reason. They seem to be filled in with concrete. That's a little unfortunate for him. He's waiting for the C4 call to come out, as a Shotgun will take a bit of damage, interestingly enough. Not sure which gunfight he's taking, but it's another one with Killsteal, that's for sure. Killsteal himself is actually going to see if he can find somebody or the other. Could pull out a footprint scanner. There we go. Heck is going to find one that's got off the board. That's a big drop indeed. Taurus as well took a bit of damage as a Jackal scan has come out. This is good emphasis from Throw Syndicate right here. Matching aggression for aggression and forcing Jittervuya to fall back to site. The mute is being scanned right now. Taurus, his position given away. Thankfully for him, of course, he is just very calmly chilling inside a site with friends. Nothing to worry about for now until the eventual side push comes in from Throw Syndicate.
Well, just from the looks of it, Jittervuya right now definitely not liking the pushback that Throw Syndicate has brought to them. Just from the attacking perspective, God has already been taken down. We are still looking at a 4 versus 5, but highly unlikely with the time that is remaining that so much more execute has still got to go down, so many more bodies to be found just from the positions and the utilities alive. There you go, already another fight coming in. Ghost meanwhile is going to fight easy though, but there was a did he down himself with that C4 while he tried to blow off easy? I'm not sure. Cheesy Chimkins though, he'll make sure he gets that confirmation onto Ghost, and that was just the confirmation kill. No extra kill points added to that. We've still got a 3 versus 4. The attack is making this push happen. Throw Syndicate trying to get in with the equalizer, while Jittervuya don't want to let that happen. They've got a long angle being employed here. Selma breaches are going off in distance as well. That is, of course, for the plan to go down. The barrel for the Nomad getting spotted by Shotgun is looking to find a frag. That is not Nomad, that is the Zofia. But the push from behind is in. Killsteal is going to get a frag. Does get shut down right back in from the Jaeger. And the Jaeger himself goes down, and so does Adi. That'll be a quick double kill for a bit to take the Zofia. We'll make sure she gets that double frag. Look at that, through the security room. And then the second one as well through that little rotation that he got for himself. Really good push once again from Throw Syndicate. They've come out to make sure they get their own piece of comeback in. 4-4, the score's equalized, and we're headed to round 9.
Well, this is certainly quite an interesting situation. We've got an equalizer coming in, ladies and gentlemen. This match certainly no longer as one-sided as we thought it would be on half-time, because it was 4-2 in favor of Jittervuya. They were looking very strong just a moment ago, and now 4-4 equalizer on round 9. Kudos to Throw Syndicate for bringing it back as far as they have. But now we're going to be answering what seems to be slowly becoming Consulate's eternal question. Basement, archives, and first floor tellers. Is it the site to go to for Jittervuya. They've tried Basement Garage twice. It didn't work. Understandable, you have some bad days on certain sites that you think are common for defenders. But then, instead of going to the other dependable site, which is a second floor console, or even going to first floor lobby, if you really want to turn things around and still play it safe, they have come to this other split first and bottom floor site. Now, I'm not saying that it's not the worst site in the entirety of the esports map pool, no, not by a long shot. But at the same time, one has to ask, is this really the site that Jittervuya wants to be emphasizing on? Throw Syndicate tried it twice, and they failed, and in none too spectacular fashion as well. Jittervuya, sure, we can see they've got a few different emphases on different regions, some in Garage, some in that small room next to cafeteria. We've got fairly spread out horizontal roam on second floor, utilities and reinforcements being used, resources and whatnot. But again, when it comes to this kind of a site, if the attackers get in, if they are allowed to get in and plant themselves into sight, get the diffuser down, that is impossible to shake off for the side of any defending team. We've seen it time and time again. Previously in the league, even once in Division 1, where this site was taken, and the defenders weren't able to really do much. However, Adi is going to start by doing quite a big thing, and that's taken down easy. The Ash is out the board, and that is a much required early kill, mind you, but it is just an early kill. With 1:50 remaining, there's plenty of time for JV to turn it around. Not for Ghost, though. If he keeps standing where he's getting Jackal scanned, he is about to get taken down. The drones know his position. He's being given away. Another scan's come out, and his head is about to be visible, and there we go. Killseal will shut him down. There goes another one, shocking to fall, and suddenly the advantage has swung in favor of Throw Syndicate.
Bomb located by attackers.
That's exactly what the attackers have still brought on board. The aggression is still on from the side of Throw Syndicate. They want to make sure they turn this equalizer into more than just that. They want to make sure they turn this into a lead, and that's what we see them taking. And God trying to find the heartbeat on that Nomad, I believe that is Cheesy Chimkins. He might as well get this Pulse C4 right now. He's got the prep coming in from Taurus. He's got two C4s. There you go. One of them does get blown away. Does not find anything though. He's still got to go for the denial, but that's already being stuck inside of the V zone. There you go. The table helping them so much right now. The C4 comes in, and that'll not be the planter. Excuse me. That'll not be the planter, but it will be the Zofia who's been down. She can revive herself. That is a self-revive coming into effect. Adi making his way up top from the bottom of the Visa stage. He's coming in. Heko meanwhile does find Adi though, and that was the maestro that we have to talk about. The Mira does get unnoticed, and this could be fatal. No, it won't be. Heko make sure he makes up for his mistake that he did not see the Mira come up from the hallway. Really good reflexes. There you go. He could have messed up quite a bit. I think the Mira did not have enough bullets coming in through our gun, but yeah, definitely needed that 1 second to reload, and that was the moment for him to shine. Throw Syndicate taking the lead for themselves 5-4 into this match. Round 10 is where we are headed to, people. Now they stay one round away from taking us to match point, and this was in fact the team that happened to lag way behind what we saw JV bring out in the first half. This is exactly a perfect example of how we happen to see the side chains affect teams over the time. That being said, we'll be headed to round 10, and the sixth pick from Taurus is into effect onto the Echo.
Well, then that's certainly quite interesting. The sixth pick into the Echo, an operator we haven't seen for quite a while. All things considered, given his recent nerf, a single change to his drone that has seen him drop quite sharply in terms of play. Also, the fact that, with him unfortunately having to be put into esports quarantine, excuse me, I had to pause for a second. With him having to be put into esports quarantine due to his drone, unfortunately, not performing as intended, people just sort of learned to play without him. And now Echo has found himself in a position where his drone no longer goes invisible when on the ceiling, and that of course is a pretty big disadvantage, all things considered, because with Echo, as soon as attackers see him, the natural reflex is to check the ceiling of any site you push. And I've sort of experienced this myself playing Rainbow Six recently, where I just leave a drone in a default spot out of habit, and I switch back to it when the plant is going off, but lo and behold, it's not actually there anymore. it's gone because the attackers have that reflex still present to just look up and destroy the drone. It's certainly going to hurt him quite a bit, but to what extent we don't know yet, as he has only just recently come into competitive, of course, and still has a lot of viability with a deployable shield and that very powerful MP5 SSD. But, you know, for the time being, that Japanese defender has fallen off quite a bit. In the meanwhile, we've got a rook in play from Ghost, playing on yellow stairs, the 2x on the MP5 itself. Quite a powerful operator. God's going to take a lot of damage. Not sure where that was from, but he is very low on HP. He's going to have to fall back, and he has sort of towards second floor console. Just noticing the double window rappel on console. He'll have to fall back to a different location, maybe even the site. No, he still wants to emphasize there, and finally will drop down to first floor to the safety of site. Well done. An advised peek, but Shotgun in the meanwhile tried to go for a shotgun play, was not able to. That is, I believe, Heko, who got the down on him. Can't quite get the kill because there's there was supposed to be a kill onto the ace, but that was denied as a Cheese Jinkin comes in alongside his teammate to take two, revive the ace, and suddenly what would have otherwise been a 4v4 has become a 5-3.
Well, definitely not a good place for Jet of VR to be in right now. They're looking at a possible flawless round. That is, of course, for Throw Syndicate. They also want to make sure they get the match point secured. Done and dusted. The Mew Jam is coming into effect. They've not got a whole lot of information to work with. The drone works not right in time. There you go. The stun grenades are finally coming out. They're getting this utility burnt out, the concussive nades, and the Zophia's lifelines into effect as well. Adi will be the first line of defense from Jet of VR. Obviously, you've got the Echo drones. Not a whole lot of help at this moment. There you go. One of them does get taken care of. He's still got one more yokai, but I don't think that's going to help them a whole lot. Got the Maestro camps taken care of as well. Kelsey is already sticking the plant through the circular desk, and there you go. God is going to get a headshot onto Easy. That's going to be the Jaeger getting a frag. They still got to find more, though. God gets another. Does he? Yes, he does. Killsteal happens to drop the hats and gets a frag for himself. Cheesy Chimkins though adds up to that damage and shuts down God, and here's the finisher from a bid onto Taurus. Pro Syndicate coming out with an aggressive all guns out round once again, and just as we happen to talk about it, they've had amazing examples of attacking rounds come out, and hey, it's just Throw Syndicate. That's good stuff from them. They'll be on match point. What a beautiful display of skill that from their side, and it's just been these attacking rounds that they've been able to come out with. Look at that, Heko with 10 kills for the man. It's yeah, that's almost each kill for a round. So come down to stuff like that, that kind of aggression and that kind of frag power, the scoreboard and the match score, in fact, is very evident of stuff like that. 6-4, they stay on match point. Let's see if they're able to seal the deal right here, or is it still going to be some retaliation from Cheterviewer still alive?
Attackers need to
Well,
locate and
most
defuse
certainly,
as many
if
bombs
there
as they
is
can.
any fight left in Cheterviewer, they're going to need it now more than ever, because they have not won a
Attackers have
single
discovered the
round
location of a bomb.
post Rios. Not even one, ladies and gentlemen. I say post Rios, excuse me. Post roll swap. They have not taken a single round. Starting from round 6 onwards, 5 rounds have gone, well, 4 rounds, excuse me, have gone the way of Throw Syndicate, going from 2-4 down to 6-4 up.
10
That's
seconds.
certainly quite the bit of a
5
comeback
seconds
that
left
Throw
before
Syndicate
insertion.
managed to put together, and none more so than because their
Attackers' objective
attack
is
is,
to defuse a bomb.
well, at this point, miles better than their defense on Consulate had been. Now, of course, this could have just been the one game. They could have been having a bad defensive day, but then at the same time, Cheterviewer isn't exactly making a strong case for defense on Consulate, because they themselves have been taken to the cleaners on the other side of Rosop. It's just the fact that Throw Syndicate found momentum, never let it go. I know they might get a kill here. He's going to see effect, not in time. He's going to do some damage, though. Shotgun is going to fall back to first floor, just barely escaping with his life right there. And he's going back up yellow stairs. He wants this fight. He knows he has to try and get a couple of early kills, but then you have Easy coming up on yellow stairs' entry. That would have been the end of the Jaeger had he stuck around. He knows that he has to fall back when very quickly so. Nicely done. Again, it's a small consolation to what could have otherwise been for the side of Jittervuya. Now, again, confrontations like those are, of course, 50-50, as they say, but at the same time, is it really worth it when you are 4-6 down, one round away from getting taken all the way out of the game? I certainly don't think so, and it seems like Jittervuya agree in this situation. All operators inside a site, they're waiting, they're watching, seeing what the attackers come out with. And given the fact that it seems to be a turtle shot coming out from the defenders, Pro Syndicate have more than ample access to first floor. They have ample access to verticality, with the biggest risk, being C4s from below. They've got to be careful of that, as there's a couple of C4s in there that may or may not connect onto them. If it does, then good on Jittervuya. They managed to take a gamble and get a couple of kills for it, mostly for free, considering that site itself has to be pushed. If not, resources will have been wasted, and that's going to be the first one. Lots of explosions in fact going off, as Easy receives up 2 of his Ash Breaching charges, and now the regular breach charges will come off to give the attackers vertical lines of sight, meaning that this push is slowly about to ramp up, and it's going to be a bloodbath inside of sight.
That's exactly what it looks like right now. There you go, already starting off with the bloodbath. Easy is going to start things off. Shocking will be the first one to take the fall. He had low HP on him, so it makes sense. The Jaeger just not able to find himself a good spot before he could just take some hard cover for himself. Still at the floorboards, that destruction from top floor is still happening. That is definitely going to dislodge the defenders on the side, but this is the exact moment that they've got to be vigilant. There you go, already spotting the elbow of the Zofia, but meanwhile, is able to walk away with the kill onto Taurus. God takes the fall as well onto Kill Steal. Cheesy Chim can skin the plant. Meanwhile, this could be fatal. Kill Steal is the one to find another, and oh, this is sad.
Not like this.
That is
Not like this.
That is going to be seen in the instant replay. Kill Steal just rubbing it in the face of the Maestro while he was so busy trying to get the denial down. I'm not sure, just very busy playing on his own evil eye, just having his own fun time. I did not know that you're not supposed to be addicted to your phones that much. That is exactly what happens. Good stuff from Throw Syndicate. Honestly, what we got to see from them on the second half was nothing less of a very good feat. It was definitely something that we don't usually get to see. Just able to turn the second half completely in their favor. Just there's good stuff from them. Honestly, there's nothing out of the textbook that they happen to do. Very standard console stuff. It's just that we're getting to see it after a long time. It definitely must have been very refreshing to our eyes. But yeah, Jittervuya, all props to them for trying to bring up that fight in the first half. They looked very confident, but I think that is exactly what has gotten over them. Through Syndicate taking advantage of a moment like that and just making sure they stomp over them with that role swap coming into play. But that being said, we'll be taking a quick look at the highlights into reliving the moments rather of the match that is. Speaking of this match, in fact, like I said, it was the Jittervuya show coming out of the first half. In fact, I myself could not have made it that Throw Syndicate will be the ones to win out of this situation. They look very sad and very one-sided. Jittervuya had everything under their control. It just essentially came down to the attacking runs that they brought in, and it was working out for them. And this is exactly what I happen to talk about. Consulate offering us that lovely dynamic of an attacker-favored map. And just from the playstyle of what these two teams happen to bring out as well, it definitely merged out to be a very interesting match, a very entertaining one. In fact, for me, we got to see so many old spots come out with the Nomad being used, the Mytric and whatnot. You know, all of those small things about Consulate we happen to miss. But that out of the way, the teams. It was beautiful to watch Throw Syndicate make sure that they have made their amends coming in the second half. Even the first half itself, they did happen to walk away with 2 rounds, but even those 2 rounds looked a little too clumsy, honestly. Just from the looks of it, they did not look a whole lot of convenient, but they were very happy to walk away with those 2. That is what happened to give them a good platform to just take it from there in the second half. And I think that's what happens to sum up that little pacing difference between these 2 teams and that momentum change that we happen to see between the first 2 halves.
Well, most certainly. There was a big change of pace, all things considered. Well, then, it seems to me that our admin has detected that I accidentally muted myself thinking I was already on mute. But, you know, as it goes, I was writing down all of the information and whatnot, so I was a little bit disoriented, if you will. But here we have the other side of Rollstrop, the part that we were talking about for so long, Foxy was talking about for so long, that Jitter Vuya really on the defense, I mean, so much went wrong for them at so many intervals. There was really no coming back. You know, some very ill-advised plays and peaks, some unfortunate positioning, some terrible site decisions when it comes to just overall how they decided to play a site, what site they decided to pick even as first floor tellers and basement archives. I mean, this match will go down in TEC history, ladies and gentlemen, not only as a great match for Throw Syndicate, a great comeback, but also as a warning and a reminder, please don't go to that site. It really won't work for a defending team. Just don't. Just don't. And meanwhile, if we look at this round, 5-4 up for Throw Syndicate, and you see the hatch being broken, Kilsin managed to get the kill on the Maestro. I think the reason Adi went for that, the hatch break, was because he thought, okay, the plant's on round desk, it's on the hatch, I can go in and sort of break the hatch, force the diffuser out of sight, and win the round. Unfortunately, the side of Throw Syndicate, the Jackal, he was smart. He's planted on the rim where it couldn't fall off. And unfortunately for the side of the defense, it meant that the plant was still ongoing. And then, of course, we have what is arguably the most infamous clip of this game. There we go. Just like Foxy said, can be too addicted to our phones, ladies and gentlemen. That will also serve as a reminder of that. But with all of that being said, that is going to be it for the first game of the night, and the second game will be going live in a quick moment after a short break. It is a Clickbait versus Wolframite Esports, and we will be going back to ye old favorite Clubhouse after this short break. Stay tuned. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League for Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Foxy, and Abin Eisen, as we are here for the second and final game of the night. That is day 2 of Div 3 in Season 3, and that's going to be a pretty interesting game as well. Team Clickbait taking on Wolframite Esports. A very interesting game indeed. WLF coming back after a little bit of a break that they have had, and Clickbait joining us after coming up from the qualifiers. They've been a team that have been trying for a while, and now they'll be going up against a team that has been experienced in Division 3 for some time now, at the very least. And it's going to make for a very interesting game indeed. The map is a Clubhouse ye old favorite, and we will be joining our teams in just a quick second in the ban phase, as it is going to be a very interesting game indeed. The ban phase is up, and we'll be going live into the game right here, right now, on your screens. Wolframite on the defense, Clickbait on the attack. As it goes, they are ready to once again show us that beautiful attack strategy that they had yesterday as well. And Wolframite, with the first ban of the map, they will decide to take care of the Ash. Okay, then. We were actually discussing this, me, Foxy, and Eisen, about who we might see in the ban phase, and one of the names that came up was actually Ash against Clickbait. And wouldn't you know it, Ash has been banned, and so has Jackal. That is very interesting right there. It's Clubhouse, mind you, and Jackal is going to be the one banned. Not Thatcher, not Maverick, not Ace, none of the Heart Breachers. It is Ash and Jackal, and a Valkyrie ban to follow up. 2 very unusual bans for Clubhouse, and then a standard ban, Valkyrie, just shutting down the defender's intel. Well, with that being said, I've kept the man from the mic long enough. Foxy, interesting bans coming out. What do you have to say about this?
Well, just from the look at it right now with the bans, it's definitely going to take us back to the year 1 of Clubhouse. Just the way we happen to approach this, it's going to come down to such a huge process of approaching a site on attack and defending a site on defense, because we don't see the Kaid being banned. We don't see any anti-information operators except for the Valkyrie and the Mira. That is, of course, something that you can use, but nothing that will provide you denial in terms of map control. Speaking of which, so let's take a quick look at the rosters first and foremost. Steady Zam, Lakshya, Kingster, and Gunmaker from Team Clickbait, while we have Vergix, Praxnaf, Ace, Botneck, and Danu from the side of Wolframite Esports. Definitely these names, we've seen them before. We know exactly what they happen to bring with their names as well, and that's exactly what we're here to find out. The 6 picks will be into effect as well. The Mountain being switched to Zofia, and we blame them. This was expected, and Ace will make sure he brings out the Kaid. Speaking of which, though, we don't see any other emphasis from the side of the defense except for the Kaid into stopping the map control. We've got the Goyo, but that's not what I'm looking for. You've got the hatches to take care for, and I can only understand that with the impact trick being being able, you can allow yourself to do that when you happen to be on the bottom of kitchen. So definitely something that we are expecting to see. But more importantly, it's going to be that comfortable position that the attackers will have for themselves. They'll have every single element to play with. At least how we happen to see Clubhouse to transpire on a general scale of a match. You've got the Maverick this time around. You have the Ace, the Thermite, the Hibana, the Thatcher of all things. And obviously you can throw in a Twitch here and there, but that always at least is available. Definitely very good targeted bans that have come out from the side of Wolframite Esports. They are the ones starting off on defense, so it makes sense. While you want to make sure that the Ash ban coming in on the side of Clickbait is going to cripple them. That being said, the round 1 is underway. The action phase of the round 1 is underway, and we've still got some late setup coming in from Botneck, but that is not going to affect him, at least not yet. They've still got Clickbait making sure that they have they take their own sweet time. They have everything accounted for, because we're from Esports. You don't want to take them for a spin. They know exactly what's up. They will shut you down if they find the opportunity to. We're approaching the 2-minute mark. Let's see what we have. Oh, never mind. As I was going to say, let's see what we happen to unfold, and we just happen to see some blue on blue, and that's his teammate's blood on his own hands, and the floor goes on the
Attackers
kitchen as
recovered
well.
the diffuser.
But the one proximity mines being used perfectly well. We've still got the impact rig being used. There we go. Botnik has utilized both of his impact nades, and that's it. The breach will come into play. We're hitting the 2-minute marker. We have already crossed it. This is definitely a slower attack than
Attackers'
usual for
bomb diffuser
clickbait.
has been
Let's see
dropped.
what it happens to bring to
Attackers have
us.
recovered their diffuser.
Well, something
A
that
bomb
a
has
slower
been
attack
located.
could be more indicative of from the side of clickbait is that they might be trying to adjust, a little bit of a short-term adjustment, if you will, for their slightly more shaky mid to end round conversion. Going from the transition of the mid-round setup to the end round execute, they start to lose bodies. And while their players are calm, collected enough to make sure that the body drop isn't completely detrimental, like too detrimental to their push, it's certainly something that they needed to look at, something that we emphasized on yesterday in their match against D3 Team Sky. And even if Clickbait did take that game pretty well, all things considered, D3 were very shaky. Wolframite will not be similar. Wolframite will be a much, much tougher opponent in all regards. And they're going to need to try and play around that fact. Clickbait, they know that they cannot go hyper aggressive early. They cannot be too aggressive, but it doesn't matter. As a Claimer comes in, Kingslayer is going to go down to Thunder's Claimer as the C4 took out somebody else. And meanwhile, Kingslayer is going to find another one, this time with his gun. And Luxia comes in to find Ace. Clickbait with a late round push is finding bodies very, very well indeed. And suddenly it's down to Vergix. No, it's not down to Vergix in the go. It's just the Goyo who is remaining. Kruxnav 1v4. He has to practically ace clutch this because time is not on his side, and neither is Lucky. He's gonna find him through the rotating blue, finish him off, and Clickbait. Very, very strong start, as we'll see in the instant replay. This was a much better start than they had yesterday. They took site quickly and efficiently, and seems that we've been kicked out of the game once again, ladies and gentlemen. That's sort of unfortunate, but of course we can still reconnect nice and quickly. So the teams, all they have to do is just sit tight, and our spectator will be back into the lobby all over again. Certainly very interesting, this issue that seems to be resurfacing, as we say, because it was sort of gone in the middle. It wasn't there. It was there at the beginning of Legacy, but it was no longer there towards the end. Suddenly it's back. I'm not sure what's happening, but hopefully it can be
Defenders, protect your
remedied
bombs
as
from being
soon
defused by
as
attackers.
possible. And we're back into the match itself with the score being 1-0. Round 2 is underway, and instantly it changes site from Wolframite. This is what an experienced team does. They change sites instantly, not wanting to repeat those same mistakes, trying their luck wherever they can to see what works. And as soon as it does, as soon as they start gathering momentum, they go back to the site that failed and try to take it with renewed fervor. That's what Wolframite has done successfully in the past. That's what they'll look to do here right now. But against Clickbait, it's going to be a bit of a challenge.
5
That's
seconds to go.
exactly what they have to do. They've got to crack the challenge, but one thing's for sure, Clickbait starting off very slow, very steady. They know exactly what they were doing. They were getting that information done and dusted for. They had so much map control gained over the time, and just the way it happens to go forward. They've got Clickbait just making sure everything is accounted for. And Wolframite Esports, I don't see them coming in with a whole lot of headcount, but definitely that is something that can change. It's just one round that has gone off. There's so much more still left that we are yet to see from this match. Already got the drone walks coming in. The bandit is going to find that, but there's another one on that follow-up. Thatcher making sure the EMP comes into use, but the bandit trick will be employed as well. There we go. The exothermic charge does get taken care of. Very well done from Ace, just bringing in those old days of bandit trick, done with so much more patience and all of this utility being emphasized. Teddy walks away with the frag onto Drax now, though. And wait a minute, this is a side push. In fact, that's the There's a Zofia taking control on the side as well. The plan is already being stuck. Gunmaker on the reach. This could be huge, and the plan does go down. Botneck on the double kill. Zam will be the one to find Botneck, though that was a shutdown on 2 versus 2 that we find ourselves in. Teddy Oy and Zam are the only ones left remaining. The attackers right now, they've got to play this slow. They've got to time this well. 20 seconds and ticking down. We've got Danu and Ace left on the clutch. A 2 versus 2 that they definitely look like fighting for. Danu has taken so much damage that I don't think he'll be walking away with his life through that rotation. There'll still be a slight movement to just move around, but hey, there you go. That patience play from Zam is what is helping him right now. 10 seconds, and we at the 9-second mark. Ace is going for the counter defuse, but it's just not enough. Zam takes care of both of them. Ace and Nano will just come out to be fish in a battle, as that was the play for Zam to just bait them out and that breach, and a good attempt from the side of the defense, but just not enough. A good position to be on clickbait, taking advantage of a situation just like that. That's pure experience at work, people. We just got to see that at the instant replay. Let's see what round 3 happens to offer us. 2-0 and clickbait already. They started off strong. Let's see if they can keep that up or not.
Well, just as we praised Wolframite Esports for changing up sites instantly, we're going to have to talk about that last round. The quick plant from the side of Clickbait, finding that first kill, falling into sight quite literally, and planting the diffuser smack dab in the middle of the rotate. You don't get to see that, the newly opened breach, excuse me. You don't get to see that every single day, but regardless, it was a pretty fantastic play from them. Nonetheless, they realized that, all right, there's nobody really watching from cash. We could probably go in, risk the C4, and get the plant off. Worst case scenario, we can still recover the diffuser, and we're a little bit hard on the timer, but it's still a sort of a win-win situation for them, because even then, Wolframite have to start playing catch-up. They were a little late to realize what was going on, and even if they managed to take out the guy who got the plant off, well, I say that because the plant did go off at the end, and that kicked the round suddenly into a much shorter post-plant situation. I'm not sure if there's actually a statistic for this, but that could have been the fastest plant in the Esports Club history, ladies and gentlemen. We're not sure. Again, I'm going to have to check back with our admins about that one, as there is no statistic for that just yet. But it certainly was quite a quick, very, very quick plant indeed from the side of Clickbait. With all that being said, they're going to have to try something different this time around. Wolframite definitely won't be allowing them the kind of headroom that they had in the last round to allow them to quick plant again. Praxna, once again, going for the bandit trick. He knows what he has to do. Gunmaker knows that there's probably a bandit trick going on, seeing as the wall in front of him just suddenly started becoming an electrified wall. So, the Thatcher's going to come in, disable a battery, but Praxna has picked it up. He might be able to go and deny in just a second. Gunmaker's going to take a bit of damage right there. Batteries are coming in. One set of Samuels will probably be denied. Yes, they will, but that's a line of sight open. But that doesn't matter. Zam gets taken up by a beautiful shot by Praxna. The bandit takes one and manages to fall into the red stairs hallway before he gets refagged as well. Nicely done from the bandit to take that first frag, fall back when he needed to. But here's Luxia to fire back. Tanu goes down. Suddenly it's a 4v4.
That equalized man count, that's exactly where you have to pick up the pace from, and looks like the ball is in the court for Wolframite Esports. They've definitely got to bring this up and make this a little more fiery movement for them. They're lacking at some very little, I would say, little areas, but that does not help them shy away from a possible victory right now. Ace from Wolframite Esports is looking to find a frag, but that's Lakshya right outside. I haven't seen Lakshya bring out his very standard plays with the Ash not into play today. He's definitely not feeling the same, I'd say the same fluidity with the play you happen to bring out on the Ash versus the IQ. Definitely not, but hey, it'll still be useful for him getting that utility done for. Kingslayer, meanwhile, does take some damage. I'm not sure where that fight went down to. It's definitely something that he's got to be scared of. 4 versus 4, still no lives lost, but the proximity alarm goes off, and then comes a kill. Ace will be the one to get that frag to his name, Luxia, a little unaware. Despite being the IQ, not using his RD scanner to the full potential. is going to let a proximity breach get himself spotted. Vergix, meanwhile, has taken so much damage. That's on the green boxes. He's going to walk away with a frag instead. That's Kingsley taken down, and Duster, Teddy and Gunmaker, the 2 versus 4 clutch right now for them. Make that a 1 versus 4, as it's all down to the reverse rapid ace right outside the main breach with only 10 seconds left and the diffuser in hand as well. From the looks of it, Clickbait is just going to take this time to evaluate this stuff, just reassemble and rethink what went wrong and what can go correct after this. That's just going to be a shutdown for Snap to just get a pretty much a consolation kill at this point. The round was done and dusted. It was Wolf from Esports walking away with their first win. I'm glad they got that win, stopping that momentum for Team Clickbait, just making sure that you don't happen to let them take advantage of that aggression. They always happen to bring on board. Church and Arsenal is going to be the site nets. Let's see what they happen to bring out.
Church and Arsenal, now they go back to reattempt the site that they lost with a renewed fervor. I say, quoting myself from a couple of rounds ago, as that is exactly what we're about to see from WLF. They've managed to pull this off before, and we have seen them take back momentum very early, very quickly, just out of some very well coordinated, well thought out plays by rotating between sites. Right now, of course, again, against Clickbait, it's going to be pretty difficult, all things considered. The reason Wolframite Esports got away so well in the last round is because for one, they didn't allow Clickbait to outsmart them on that breach. Opening that breach would have really been unfortunate for the side of WLF. Had it been opened up completely, then there was nothing stopping Clickbait from doing what they did the round previous. Then, you had some pretty interesting and brave peaks. One that came out onto the head of Zam from the Bandit. That was a pretty good kill from Trucksnav, who was the one to finish off the round as well, poetically enough. And just overall, a very good set of plays from WLF. But they're going to have to continue that trend of making good plays. Clickbait, on the other hand, they're going to have to try and turn things around right here, right now. They can't allow WLF to gather momentum because, again, Wolframite, they know the essence, the very precious nature of having good momentum in this round situation. Meanwhile, Praxnav trying to figure out the exact range at which he can throw one of his electro claws, get the hatch electrified, and still have it be on some sort of hard surface. Unfortunately, that doesn't exactly work there, at least one would think. As right now, yep, there we go. He's just going to mark out where he needs to put his electro claw to really trick the hatch if he needs to go for it. But right now, he's going to go into dirt instead to try and deny somebody pushing in horizontally. Down comes in onto him. He's been unfortunately spotted, down, and confirmed onto. The ace gets one. Clickbait starting off once again.
Loading new mag.
Clickbait wants to keep that momentum going. They want to make sure they keep dropping bodies like that. They want to make sure they get that advantage in. But look at that unexpected peak. But he still gets that frag. And with a style, just through those metal bars in the kitchen, he's going to get a nice and easy frag for himself. That's the second one for Team Clickbait. And here comes the third. There we go. Well predicted, because that pre-fire from Kingsley was just too perfect for me to ignore. It's all down to Vergix and Ace, the lone survivors from this havocs that Clickbait has just brought onto them, as they'll be trying to make this possible clutch happen. There we go. One down. They've still got to cross 4 more. Will they be able to do that? Ace on the possible flank. This is very daring. This might have just well been useful for them. There we go. Ace is going to get that frag onto Zam, but the plant is already being stuck. Lakshya making his way in on the side of the church rotation. He's not spotted the Legion, but because he's all the way on the side of Moto, this could be a possible retake. We might just see them come out. No, Kingslayer shuts him down, gets his own double. Vortex, meanwhile, has found himself in a little bit of a confusion. And there you go. Teddy Oi takes advantage of that said confusion. We'll be seeing that in the instant replay. But that was quite the round once again for Team Clickbait. Very aggressive, very straight to the point. Just no happening to beating around the bush. You know exactly what you're up against when you happen to be against Team Clickbait. They just happen to push side, and that's exactly what they happened to do. Just stirring the defenders up on side, not letting them have a good time. That's a good attacking round, honestly, coming out from Clickbait. Once again, let's see if they'll be able to continue that or not. And if I might say this, let's see if Clickbait is able to continue their havocs that they've been trying to wreak on their opponents.
I understood that reference. But did you understand that one?
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Ha!
I actually understood that. That was a good referenceception.
Absolutely. Referenceception right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's what you get when you mix the dad jokes and the sad jokes. That's me and Foxy right here. As right now, I mean, we'll be on for all night, at least for as long as this match is running. And right now, it's going to be very, very, very interesting turnaround from Clickbait in that previous round, as they managed to really. Okay, so the reason I'm laughing this hard, like struggling to maintain my composure, is because as I happen to say that on my screen, I can just see Foxy roll over out of frame. It was actually pretty funny. I wish you guys could.
See, the last time around, we happened to come something too close to that was when you happen to say when you have to say what is that? I happened to make a meme out of it as well. I just cannot remember it, and I don't want to take it out of context to make it sound awkward. But I think you get what I'm talking about.
Oh, absolutely. I remember that. I remember that.
Just out of that tangent, you happen to say something very similar. And the first thing in my head was, there goes my weekly content idea. Thank you, Blackjack. I've got enough stuff to do. Just happened to take out of the stream and post it on Facebook. But yeah, that is me just giggling off cam and giving you a hard time.
I mean, it's all fun games at the end of the day until Clickbait starts suddenly emphasizing on site. They haven't so far, of course. You know, Wolfram Esports haven't exactly started losing bodies just yet. But yeah, man, as I say that, Luxia will basically grenade bot to Oblivion and finish off them loose. That's a big drop early, mind you. And that's not going to look too good for Wolfram Esports. They've again lost an operator early as the castle barely saves himself from getting his own head taken off from the side of Kingslayer. The castle still alive. Does get spotted. Luxia takes out Dun in the meanwhile as Trucksnap will take out Luxia. Reflect comes in. There we go. ADS burn is in, but the Banshee will still be alive and well. Meanwhile, Heartbeat on Jacuzzi has been taken care of, and slowly but surely we're seeing Clickbait find bodies again. Gunmaker will find another, and there goes one more for the man. The ace comes in with a double, and Vergix the Ella, caught inside of construction, will be found by the sister. Sophia will finish off the kill. Kingslayer, that is, of course, and that will be seen in the instant replay as Clickbait continues to take round after round. They are 4-1 up going into round 6, the last round before roll swap, ladies and gentlemen. And this is about to be a very interesting and if Wolframite doesn't come back from this, then very dominant game for Team Clickbait.
Well, it looks like everybody on the side of Clickbait wants to make sure that they have to go to bed early tonight. That's exactly what it's looking like. Trying to make this such a clean sweep right now, just from the looks of it. 4-1, looking very, very confident. This was the confidence. This was the same confidence we've gotten to see from a Clickbait coming out in the qualifiers as well. Unlike some other very dominant teams who happen to make some very good reputation off of the qualifiers, but not survive the division. Well, I will not be taking any names, and neither will I be mentioning our sweet admin Darkside. We'll be heading into round 6 directly.
Or our admin Percy, you can't forget him.
Yes, obviously. It's just that they happen to put in so much work on the back end, just making everything seem so smooth for everybody out there. Just had to throw in that little appreciation for both of them. That's it. Nothing else, obviously. Definitely nothing else at all. As we'll be headed to round 6. We'll be headed to round 6 with quite the setup coming in from the defense already. And hey, this is the last round before the roll swap, so that's what you expect out of a Wolfram Esports. Just happening to play for all cards, and hey, pretty much. I mean, just from a look at the scoreline, they've got to play with their all cards out because it's not look like they've got a whole lot more to hide. We've got Gunmaker coming in with some early aggression. That's not going to be met with anything, though, so far from the side of the defense. They've been very chill about it. They've been very slow on what they want to take. But, hey, that's once again going to be there undoing itself. Lakshya going downstairs. He's going to try and get a chef's grenade from below, but I might not be too confident about it. There's got to be some sort of there you go challenge that he's going to face. I don't see anybody coming up as we have to quickly go over the defenders. Rather, thank you, Eisen, for that quick look if anybody's right beside him. Oh, there is actually Ace. Awfully close the Jaeger. He might be the one to find this frag. Lakshya is going to spot him, and this might be the kill for him as well. The pre-fire is already coming in, and that lineup is going to get spotted by Ace. That pre-fire rather. It's just going to make sure he makes as much noise as he can. There you go. He's going to get the drone taken care of as well. That's one less set of eyes for Lakshya to work with. A panic nade, that's what I think came out from him. He's trying to attempt for a second one, but that's not going to connect either. He's just got a small hole to work with, and that does not look like a whole lot. You've got the breaches coming out in multiple directions. The zones are coming in the lifelines as well. This is definitely going to come down to a bloodbath, and there you go. The pre-fire being exchanged. Let's see what this last minute has to offer.
Bomb has been located.
75 seconds and less as the first body will drop. Kingslayer takes down Vergix once again. He's been the first fragger for this team for this attacking match so far. Clickbait on the attack, once again looking strong. They've got one man down. Can they get a second? Botnik low on HP, and he's gonna get cleaned up on as well. Teddy, he's in sight. And he could go for the plan any second now. He has to wait for Gunmaker, excuse me. He's the one with the diffuser. Proxnap coming in, gonna get taken out from CCD window. One attacker body has been dropped, but that's been refact. Time takes Luxia, but at what cost? It's down to him and Ace, who are trying to stop this push, but they can only do so much against this tide. The Doc finds one, double kill, but the planet's gone off. Kingslayer gonna find his, and now the Doc's been down. Can he be cleaned up on in time? Yes, he will be, but not before he took down Kingslayer. Oh, well then. The Zofia getting a little bit ahead of himself as Kingslayer starts blaming his mouse for that one. Not sure why. The Doc managed to take him down before it yeah, it really didn't look good for him right there. Did it down in front of a Zofia and still managing to get Kingslayer. Even he's confused. What just happened? The question in the all chat and the question in our minds. Well, right now, 5-1 is the scoreline going into round 7. A very dominating first half for Team Clickbait, and they are now one round away from match point.
Yeah, let's be honest here. That was just a very lame reason for Kingslayer to say that his mouse is spoiled or something. We know that he done bad. He did not
Attackers
intend
need
to
to
do that.
locate and defuse
He
as many
got
bombs as they
that. He got that little whiff moment for himself. No, I'm just kidding. Just a little to confuse my man Kingslayer, finding himself in a bad moment for himself. But hey, that was still pretty much what we saw. Clickbait still taking another round. This has been their game, people. If you take a quick look at the scoreboard, that is. There we go. Kingslayer with 8 frags for himself, and Lakshya right below him. The follow-up on 7. The scoreboard on the other side does not light up a whole lot. We've not got to see a whole lot of solo emphasis as well, just from a solo player perspective. On the side of Wolf from Esports as well, they've got an amazing roster. Right now, Clickbait, just from the looks of it, look at that. They've already got, they've still got so many defenders up top, getting the basic reinforcements done, and that just happens to specify that they don't happen to shy away from gunfights if they do happen to take on their way back to side with the prep phase ended and the action phase already underway. But hey, if it were me, I would say that is a huge risk. You don't want to play like that. We'll be underway with the 2-minute and 30-second mark, just 30 seconds into the round, that is. And we are not going to see a whole lot from the defense once again. They've been very slow. They were like this on the side of the attack as well. But the other half, if it will only be evident of something, is if it will be that Wolf from Esports are able to handle the second half, or rather the other role of this game properly or not, because we did get to see a rather lackluster performance coming in from them when it came to the defense. This time around, Clickbait are looking to secure themselves that victory and just cement their position more in Division 3. That's what they want. I don't see any other better outcome of this, because you see Wolf from Esports, they've been having their go at the qualifiers back to back and now wanting their piece of cake in Div 3, but that's just not been it. Zam will be the first one to take the fall. Dhanu starting things off. He'll be the one to just take things into his own hands. He wants to make sure it brings out that frag potential for his team. He'll make sure he shuts down the Kai. Really well played. We've still got a minute and 30 remain. Let's see what the rest of the defenders happen to bring down.
Impact trick coming out from Luxia. He's found it once. Can he find it a second time? No, he cannot. 4 pellets, not 6, is going to be what saves the hard breach of the Hibana. That little change to our Skyro's launcher, allowing her to choose exactly how many pellets she wants gone, is going to help Ace to find the hard breach for himself on Kitchen Hatch. Nice and quickly, getting their objectives done, getting those little boxes ticked in the list of things that they need to do before they push into sight. So he's gonna have to be careful, mind you. He has been droned. We saw him earlier in the round going for some aggressive plays inside of stocks. The man is still safe. He's gonna push in. He's gonna get taken down by Gunmaker. In the meanwhile, SMG 11 on dirt is gonna find the first, and that's a refrag if anything. And another one hit. Bono will drop from the pre-fire from Teddy Oi. Suddenly, Clickbait turning it around, putting themselves back in the lead. Bucksnap takes a bit of damage from that peak from Blue. He's pre-firing away, using up a lot of bullets. He has to save some for getting into sight. More importantly, he has to save on time, and he will by finding Teddy Oi. And there goes the Legion as well, peeking through a bullet hole. But there's a refrag. Kingslayer finds Bucksnap, and they're slowly trying to push in. The Jaeger will miss, and he will get taken out. It's a 1v2, all down to the last man standing. Gunmaker, he was the one to get the first kill on this defense, but he will be the last one to fall as well. Vergix will take him out, and Wolf from Esports with a fairly good attack, very shaky on the site entry, managing to restabilize in time. And they will be the ones to take a round. Finally, they put their score up to 2, and it is 5-2 up. Still in favor of Team Clickbait on round 8.
Well, still in favor of Team Clickbait, but they're getting all the while more far away from that dream of match point. They're longing for it. We can see them, just almost looking to jump onto the 6-2 scoreline, but it looks like Wolf from Esports has other plans for them into action. We will be seeing the 6 picks come out. Kingslayer is just going to stick with Legion. He's changed his mind at the last moment. That's okay. You just want to come back and rely on the good old farmer. As let's see what round 8 happens to bring out. We'll be seeing the setup coming in from the side of the defense already. That's on Church and Arsenal. And then once again, it's very standard, honestly. There's nothing new out of it, except of course, for that little impact trick change up with the Melusi being introduced that we're getting to see. Lakshya, I'll make sure all of that, all of those ADSs are well placed on the side of the dirt tunnel. And something that I think we'll have to talk about is Clickbait. They've been good with their hold, but coming down to Wolf from Esports in that last round, at least, that last few seconds were just beautifully well played from them. When it came down to getting those frags in, despite that man disadvantage that they had to stay on, they kept their own composure, they kept their calm, they knew exactly what's up, they got those kills right into time, and they made the push happen on the side. That's been something that they've been lacking so far. You just come back to the defensive rounds. We saw them getting picked one by one, just getting taken off so early into the round. You could not believe it. Clickbait as well. I think a little bit of that credit, in fact, maximum of that credit has to go back to Clickbait, because we do see them happen to bring out some very ecstatic, very enthusiastic players. Just out looking for kills. And hey, Wolframite was out there giving it to them. That being said, looks like they are looking here to make amends on the second half. We've seen a beautiful second half comeback come out in the first match itself today. And that might just be, excuse me, that might just be the case that we get to see going ahead on the round 8.
Right now, Kitchen Ash will be breached once again. Kingslayer will be Ace will be able to get the hatch breach done using only 4 pellets. Once again, very nicely done, accounting for the impact trick as Luxia. Interesting position that the man is in, just by the stage door, seen by the drone as he was making his exit. He will be hunted down if he's not careful, and he has to be very, very careful. He's going to fall back onto Garage as Pucksnaff comes down from the main stairs to first floor to join the rest of his teammate. The Jaeger rotating up to second floor, takes out another drone, and if anybody was on the drones, they will note the disappearance of one, and maybe might even have an idea of where that push is coming from. Pucksnap looks like he's going to be compensated for the fact that they didn't have anybody above towards Garage by holding down main stairs of bedroom. He knows that the Jaeger is coming in from there. The peeks and come in, but no, he looks away. at arguably the worst time. The Eagles just slowly walking up. Luxia, this could be his time. All he needs to do is push right now. We've got Motorhash being opened in the meanwhile as these players from Wolframite Esports, I don't think they're aware of how close they are to getting completely wiped from one Jaeger coming around. Luxia, so close. I think he's finally been spotted, but he will still take one and get refragged on too quickly. Rutsnap coming in just in time to cover, but not quite quickly enough for Vergix to still be alive. That's a 4v4 as the Hibana gets spotted on the push in, takes some damage, has to fall back. Ace can't do much in this situation. Teddyoy can't really peek because he's been pre-fired at on all angles. Hello! Where did the Thatcher come from and where's he gone? Tanu! That's a little unfortunate as the kill will be dropped by Botnik. He finds one, gets it down. Can he get another? Not quite. Pistol out. He's taking so much damage. He's still going for the plant right now as I don't think they're aware of the fact that the plant's going in. Gunmaker tries to deny when he'll be taken out. Instead, the Hibana gets refragged onto, but can they? Teddyoy, that is, get the planter. Yes, he can. It's a 1v2, 1v1 in fact. Kruxnap and Teddy are both very low on HP. Kruxnap has to cover for the diffuser. He has to get there quickly. I don't think he knows, but Teddy, what's he doing? He's going for the kill. He's very greedy right now. He doesn't need to peek like this. Does he know where the Zofia is? He doesn't, and he will go down. You do not do that, Teddy. We've seen this mistake before from many teams. And today, it will be Teddyoy to make that same mistake. We'll see that in the instant replay as way too greedy in that situation. He could have long-armed from behind the shelf, given himself cover. He didn't do any of that. He tried to go for the kill and got taken out very easily by Kruxnap. Very unfortunate for Clickbait. That could have been match point for them, but it will not be, as they are now forced to go to second floor CCTV and cash room in a change of sight.
Well, that change of side is definitely going to offer them that nice dynamic that they happen to offer. That defensive rounds are working out for them. They're coming in with some amazing plays, but just not enough. They're just not enough to beat Wolframite Esports' attack as well. And somehow we're getting to see an attacker favor clubhouse match today. That's been the trend so far. Both of these teams performing really well on attack, but not being able to crack the code on defense. It's been a few good rounds for Wolframite Esports. They're looking to mount upon that momentum, get 2 more rounds in, get that equalizer, and eventually get that match point. But as we happen to talk about it, Clickbait, they are 2 rounds away from winning this match, while Wolframite Esports are 2 rounds away from the equalizer. It's going to be these 2 rounds that we happen to have our eyes on that will decide the fate of this match going ahead. That's definitely where my eyes are. And for sure, it's going to be from all of these fraggers that we've got to see so far. If we could take a quick look at the scoreboard. And there we go. 8 and 9 frags. In fact, look at that. So much work being done from the side of Team Clickbait. That's already Lakshya, Kingslayer, and Teddyoy. All 3 of them almost on the same frags. 8, 9, and 8 for them respectively. But yeah, that's quite a lot of gunpowder, honestly, coming in from them alone. It's enough, at least it's enough to put them up on that good, very comfortable scoreboard, 5-3. Zam is all alone. The Mozzie, he's going to just going to be very comfortably holding up in the bathroom. That's all the way on the side of bedrooms, while Wojcik looks like he might be in a fight with Teddyoy. Is he not aware that the doorway is being opened right next to him? Oh, this might be a tricky spot for him to play on. That's a nice angle for the Hibana to win, and yes, she will. That was the Melusi spot to lose always. Teddyoy looking away at the wrong time, not noticing the Hibana coming out, and there you go, that aggression coming in from Lakshya, just using that little small, I would say, small window of time, just having to make that push between the ace, happening to switch between his drone and his gun. He made sure that the timing was well done, and he made sure he got that kill. Lakshya is definitely does come down to them. That is, of course, the 4 defenders on site. But speaking of which, there's 4 attackers as well. And that's exactly what makes this all the while more interesting. A minute and 30 left. 4 men alive on both sides. Let's see who happens to win this round.
Given that it's a 4 versus 4, it could really swing either way, just like Foxy said right there. Clickbait, they have the advantage of being the defenders and having the timer running in their favor until, of course, the plant goes off. Wolfram Esports have to beat the clock and beat all 4 remaining defenders. The one good thing that they have done so far, one of the good things they've done so far, is that they seem to have taken control of the Garage. Luxia, he knows that as the grass Aspen will come in. Tanu takes a bit of damage right there. He's gonna have to switch over to the window, but Luxia will still find Ace. That's the Thatcher falling up from the back, taken care of. Can he find the buck? No, he can't. Refrag comes in. That's a big drop indeed. Tanu with his second as another gas canister comes in from Kingslayer. He's trying to deny for plant, but the diffuser is still outside. I don't think he was quite aware of that fact. Gunmaker holding the breach knows that there's a buck trying to peek him from inside of the garage window. But given that he's still safe, he's got the correct angle on hold. Kingslayer shut him out. He knows he has to be ready, but he also has to be ready for people pushing him as Gunmaker will go down as a 2v3. C4 goes out. Will it find it? Yes, it does! A double! C4 from Zam as Tanu is the last man standing. He has to go in. Coming up from red. Will he be spotted? Yes, he will. Damage is done. Pushing up the hallway into sight. There's only so much he can do. He has to recover, but he cannot. The timer will run out. And Zam's double C4 has practically clutched that round. We'll see that in the instant replay right there as Clickbait will finally, after a long set of disappointing defense rounds, take the match point. 6-3 is the scoreline, and they are match point going back to Basement Church. Can they seal the deal, finish this off, or are we in for an even longer match?
That's the question right now. That's exactly what we're here to find out. 6-3 is the scoreline, the magical scoreline for Team Clickbait to make something happen for them. And we already see the 6-pick coming in. The Mai will be chosen out for the Vigil. That means the gun blazing effect, that gun aggression approach from the side of the defense will be very evident from the playstyle coming out in this round. Let's see if that is exactly what they happen to bring up. Is that what is on their mind or not? The setup coming in very standard once again, except for the Vigil pick, obviously. We don't get to see a huge setup of sorts like we usually happen to see by the team. Loving to just keep on recycling the old SSD strat and just exploiting it out on Clubhouse. I think every single team has done that now coming back to this league, but that out of the way, this is a very standard approach to how we see Church and Arsenal come out. We'll be seeing a little bit of that spicy, aggressive nature of Team Clickbait thrown into it as well, and that is very evident from the operator picks that we've got to see from the defense. The action phase will be underway. We got so much more to cover right now. And even in terms of hard breach, just from the way it looks like, Wolfram Esports, they've been able to get the hard breach done, and done well in time, except for the last round coming ahead. Clickbait knew exactly what was in front of them. They knew how to play that. They played that to perfection. They just come down to that little stalling point. Oh boy, that P5 must have given away his position. Teddy, I walked away with the frag under Danu, who was just lurking around the side of the generator room. I'm not sure what the sledge must have thought through. Maybe he thought there's a very good window for him to just lurk into the site. Well, not the best of decisions, honestly. Should have had himself a nice drone to help him with. But hey, Gunmaker himself already taking another fight, and that's going to be from the secret tunnels. I'll see the canisters come out. That's going to keep the attackers at bay, at least for the time being. That's exactly what you want out of this situation, because the stall point is now. I think at this point it is a stall point in this match. We don't get to see a whole lot of action going down. The breach is coming in onto the kitchenets as well. That's the Hibana doing her work. But there you go. Another kill comes in from Kingslayer. He's trying to dust them, and that's exactly what he's adding up to. A hip fire possible peek comes in from him. But here's Zam to establish a good crossfire to make sure they walk away with good amount of frags off of this position. Botneck, he's taken some damage himself. It's a 3 versus 5 for Wolfram Esports to fight against, and this is looking like a very difficult situation. Zam adds up to that destruction. Look at that nice headshot coming in from him. A 2 versus 5 in fact makes that, because now Ace, he's all the while more scared to pick this gunfight. The moment he takes this, it'll be the Vigil to just come around, peek the corner, but now he does not. The diffuser has been dropped, and that's exactly what he's going for. Zam is going to be the one to take the fall. Ace was able to walk away with that frag, at least for the while. Lakshya will make sure he shuts down Vortex, but Ace's position's been given away. He's the last hope for Wolframite Esports right now. He's the only one who can stop Clickbait from winning this match in a 1 versus 4. Make that a 1 versus 3 because he's just found a frag on the Lakshya. That's going to be a very important frag for him to collect on. Kingslayer could be a victim of a possible pre-fire. No, he won't be, at least not for the while. The prone peak was into play, but now it's going to be mode right outside. This is it, people. There's going to be no re-strategizing after this. The Thatcher is going to have to find all 3 kills, or at least try and get the planter down. That's exactly what his priority is going to be right now. All eyes on this one Thatcher. Ace from Wolframite Esports will not survive anymore. It'll be Kingslayer to just plug out his life support with that quick headshot. It's just not the day for the old man to survive anymore. That's why he's usually left out on the benches in the ban phase. That being said, Clickbait, quite the match from them. What a display of skill, what a display of domination, and what a stomping entry into Division 3, honestly, for the week 1. Just to start things off, you expect stuff like this, and you talk about stuff like this, and just coming off of this beautiful experience that of Clickbait is just beautiful to watch matches like this. And look at that, Kingsley and Lakshya, both of them on 11 frags for themselves. Talk about frag power, and talk about Team Clickbait just happening to excel in that. What a beautiful performance from that. But Wolframite Esports, though, they've had a good start, at least in the first half of the week. Today was just not their day for the season. But hey, that is just me blabbering about what happened down in the match. Blackjack, any closing thoughts into the match that we just happened to witness?
All things considered, Team Clickbait really dominated the show tonight, except for those 3 rounds in the middle where they seemed to be a little bit all over the place, where it seemed like Wolframite Esports were slowly kicking it into high gear again. It just wasn't to be. And it was a similar match to the one we had yesterday. Looking through my notes nice and quickly, Clickbait versus D3 Team Sky on Villa, because Clickbait had a very good early match, only to slightly falter towards the middle, losing a couple of rounds to D3, but then coming back so strong that there was no time for D3 Team Sky to turn it around. With all that being said, we're going to go into relive the moment to check out the highlights of the match that we have had just now, talk about the best moments, and well, overall it was a Team Clickbait match, and with a little bit of sprinkling of Wolframite every now and again. And that's really the best way to describe a game of this kind. Sure, it's no 7-0 or 7-1, but even then, it's a pretty dominating performance, all things considered. And Wolframite Esports, unfortunately, will have to really look into what made them such a great Division 3 team in the previous season and where they went wrong. In comparison to that, well, mostly speaking, their defense was very lackluster, all over the place. Some would even say, uncoordinated. And there seemed to be issues with comms. There seemed to be issues with just a whole host of things. And Clickbait were taking advantage of every single mistake made. Some peaks that really shouldn't have been made. Some areas where a simple call out would have been so much better, where it seemed like there was none, is what I'm trying to say. We can only speculate what was going on in comms, ladies and gentlemen, sitting here in the caster seat. We'll have to get answers from the players themselves later on, but of course, that's a whole other topic for a different day. Clickbait's attack, it's one to be feared, and that's what they're trying to establish with these matches that we have had in the first 2 days right now. Just overall, Wolframite Esports falling prey to a mix of some very good outsmarting from the side of the attack, Clickbait that is, and then some unfortunate situations that they found themselves in, bad positioning, and all the 9 yards, as they say. There really was nothing more than that from both sides. Clickbait was just taking advantage of every single mistake. They were watching like hawks for anything that was going wrong from Wolframite Esports' end, and they were taking advantage of each and every single one of them. You can see that in every single one of these highlights. The reason Wolframite Esports, whenever we pick up in every single clip, they're down to a 2v4, 2v5, or even a 3v2 really. And then of course we had this particular clip, Dhanu getting downed and apparently Kingslayer misclicking to switch his weapons, and then for whatever reasons just wanted to run at the dog. Not sure why, but both of them ended up falling, and well, we all know what happened after that. Wolfram Esports started coming back. They started taking rounds on the attack, and it seemed like it was going to be one of those days where Clubhouse turns into an attacker-sided map. Certainly, up until round 8, that's what it looked like. But then rounds 9 and 10 happened, and we were reminded that nope, it's just the fact that Clickbait's attack was that much better than Wolframite's defense, and Wolframite on the attack, very shaky. And this round, again, something I would like to point out, this has happened multiple times to multiple teams in the entirety of this league and the previous league, is it's a 1v1 post-plant, both sides are on low HP, never go for the kill in that situation. It's not something that should be said or needs to be said, but it feels like it does, because we've seen this kind of play over and over again from just really giving away the situation to the attackers. And then you had the double C4 from Zam. The Mozzie really just dug out that round for his teammates. It really wouldn't have worked otherwise had that double C4 not come off. If even one operator was left alive at the end of that exchange, then that round would have gone the way of WLF. And then, of course, the very final round that we just got to see. Very unfortunate for Ace. He had a couple of kills. He knew what he was doing overall, but then he fell short. Very short, very quickly. Taken care of, Clickbait cleaning it up. And with that, we are also going to end up on the finishing line for today's stream matches. Both matches have been amazing, and GGWP to all teams that have played today and in the offline matches as well. And with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're also going to be ending things off here. Myself, Blackjack, my co-host, Foxy, and our admin, Eisen, and we will see you tomorrow with Division 1, the big division. The big boys are coming live tomorrow, and it's going to be a very interesting match day indeed. We'll see you there with Division 1, Playday 1. Stay tuned, and good night.